Universal Design. Chapter 3. Design Elements Outside Building Premises. Design Elements Outside Building Premises. 1. Curb at footpath. 2. Road crossing. 3. Public toilets. 4. Bus stop/taxi stand. 5. Telephone booth. 6. Signages. Curb and ramp. Walkway should be constructed with a non-slip material and different from rest of the area. The walkway should not cross vehicular traffic. The manhole, tree or any other obstructions in the walkway should be avoided. Guiding block at the starting of walkway and finishing of the walkway should be provided. Guiding block can be of red checkered tile, smooth rubble finish, Prima Regina, Naveen tiles or any other material with a different texture as compared to the rest of the area. Can typically be of 4 types, viz. A. With flared sides. B. With return or continuous curbs. C. With built-up or extended curbs, and D. With parallel curbs. Are provided preferably for curb heights up to 200 mm. Curbs higher than 200 mm may pose challenges to safe slopes for persons using wheelchairs, etc. The surface finish should be slip-resistant. Should be designed not to allow water accumulate on the walking surface. Do not require handrails. 7. Edge surfaces have to be completely level with the road. 8. Should be located or protected to prevent obstruction by parked vehicles. 9. Should be free from any obstruction such as signposts, traffic lights, etc. 10. When located at road crossings or other identified paths intended for pedestrian use while crossing a vehicular way, they should have a detectable warning surface in the form of tactile warning indicators at both entry and exit points connecting the tactile guiding path on the walkway. 11. Have a detectable warning surface of 600 mm depth where the color and texture are contrasted with the adjacent surfaces. Curb and ramp standard design. Road crossing. Buses, trams, taxis, minibuses, and three-wheelers should be designed as far as practicable to include facilities that can accommodate people with disabilities. New vehicles when purchased should comply with accessibility standards to enable all people, including those in wheelchairs, to use the service provided. All travel routes to bus stops should also be barrier-free to ensure that persons can travel from their homes to their chosen pickup point. Training should be provided for drivers to help them become aware of the needs of persons with disabilities. Public toilet. Every washroom or public toilet complex shall ensure accessibility provisions for all disability and gender types. This essentially means making adequate space provisions like for maneuvering wheelchairs, baby prams or other assistive devices, provision of supportive features like grab rails, lever-type handles, etc. and well-maintained and hygienic environment. Provision of accessible information through multi-format information systems shall remain an integral feature for universally accessible washrooms. An all-inclusive and universally accessible washroom system shall ensure provisions for diverse cultural choices as well. This implies provision of 25% Indian-style WC cubicles in public toilet environment. The provision of the accessible toilets shall be such that any wheelchair user/ambulant disabled person doesn't have to travel more than 30 meters on the same floor. Accessible public toilet layout. Accessible public toilet layout. Detail of accessible washroom with swing door and sliding door layout. Detail of accessible washroom, sectional elevation and plan. Typical toilet layout and standards for wheelchair users. Bus stop. Bus stops are the boarding places for passengers for buses. Following are the design recommendations. At least one accessible route should be provided from the alighting and boarding point of the bus stand to the walkway that leads to the accessible building entrance. Directional signs should be installed to direct persons with disabilities to an accessible entrance. PGSI's blocks should be provided along the accessible walkway from the bus stand to the building entrance to aid persons with visual impairments. The bus stand shall have minimum illumination level of 50 lux. 2 rows of guiding blocks for persons with impaired vision should be provided 300 mm away from the bus stop pole on the sidewalk. The bus stop pole should be clearly visible after dark. The bus stop area should be equipped with a roof and bench. Information on the names of all stops along a bus route should be indicated inside the bus by displaying text in a suitable position. Preferably, this information should also be announced verbally. Information on a route and its final destination should be displayed outside the bus in large text, especially on its front and side. This information should be illuminated by an internal light to make it readable in the dark. Taxi stand. Taxi should be adapted to allow passengers to get in and out of them while remaining seated in their wheelchairs. 2 rows of guiding blocks for person with impaired vision should be provided 300 mm away from the taxi stand pole on the sidewalk. The taxi stand pole should be visible after dark. For wheelchair users to be able to approach a taxi easily, sudden level differences from the taxi stand to the road need to be eliminated. It is recommended that taxis be adapted to allow passengers to get in and out of them while remaining seated in their wheelchairs. Telephone booth. Sufficient floor or ground space for a forward or parallel approach by a wheelchair user should be provided near telephone booths. The highest part of a telephone should be within reach of a seated person. Knee space should be provided under telephone.